Hey, Patrick here. I'm going to review a game that I played against a Kassai on my Azalea list. And I haven't played this matchup before, so I kind of have some speculations about how I think the match is going to go, or how I think the matchup should go. And overall, I expect them to be fairly defensive and value oriented and not really have too many massive offensive turns. I don't know if they're going to play more towards the raise an army plan or towards the blood on her hands plan, or if they're just going to do the value game throughout. So those are kind of the three sort of modes that I expect them to play, but they're all likely going to be playing fairly defensively and leveraging our hero power. Looking at the equipment I'm bringing in the standard. I'm bringing in Bullseye Bracer over the warm or the long draw because I'm not worried about warmongers. Also, I don't have Crow's Nest in this list right now. I'm trying without it just to get back the card. And then I'm also playing with Skullbone here because I don't they can play around the balance of justice. So I don't care about blocking on hits. So I'd rather just have the offensive power of Skullbone. Going down to the list though, I need to bring in 10 cards. So bringing in one Battering Bolt. I might want to bring in more just because it can hit their reaction cards and that's really good. But the cost curve is a little bit prohibitive. So I only have 4 blues and it can be a little bit rough sometimes. Also bringing in 3 Infecting Shot. This is just a 1 for 7 and can sometimes tax their blues. Right? Also bringing in 3 Red in the Ledger. It's just good. It can disrupt the value they get off of their reactions. So things like Blade Flurry coming in for 2 instead of 4, and Blade Runners just being turned off, and like all of their go again just being turned off can really limit the value they can get from a turn. And finally, bringing in 3 Remorseless. And I'm mainly just bringing this in for the top line of text. I just want to prevent them from like defense reactions because I'm expecting anywhere from no defense reactions, but up to like 9. I'm expecting things like Sync, Fate, and That All You Got. That All You Got because it's yellow for the Kassai hero power, specifically in Kassai. But that should be the board, so let's hop into the game. Go. Here we're on game, and I win the die roll, choose to go first. Since I'm not too familiar with this matchup, I just want to go first to try and squeak in some damage. I'm not worried about their on hit, so I don't care if they get to attack my full hand first. I'd rather just try to get some cheeky damage in on the first turn. So you can see here that I have 1 arrow and a yellow pitch, so I'm going to load that in and then flip, see if I can try and find some sort of arrow to dominate. Yep, put in the bolt and shot. So drawing into the knock, I have a few options here. I can go get a 1-cost arrow and then come in for 13. I can get a drill shot or an endless arrow and come in for 12. Or, sorry, it would be 10. Sorry, I only have the 1 pump. So yeah, I'm either coming in for 11 or 12. 11, 10 or 11. Jeez. And I think all of those options are viable. There's also an option of just keeping a card for Arsenal and not caring about the on hit. But I do like this choice that I made. Coming with the Endless Arrow for 10. I get the opt, put that to the bottom. I don't need that card right now. I want that in the end game. Yeah. So this looks good. I think coming in for 10, presenting the ability to have an Arsenal along with the Inertia, this really just asks a difficult question right on the first turn here. And looks like they just snap block it, throwing all their armor plus the Blade Runner. I'm super happy to see that. I'm glad to see all their 2-block armor gone. So the 2-block armor is really good for covering like nasty breakpoints and just getting more than its like face value over the course of a game. So I'm happy to see that out of the way. But they're swinging in. There's no real nice way for me to block on this turn, or at least on the first attack. I'd rather see what else they have coming in. Yeah, coming in for 2. And I could block with either the Remorseless or the Codex of Frailty. I believe if I block with the Remorseless, then I'm banking on the Ponder being a good arsenal. If I block with the Codex, then I have the option to draw into another pump. But I do like having the Frailty, I think. So looking at this, I think blocking with Remorseless, turning on the Reprise, that's fine. I don't really care There's no super nasty or prize effect that I'm worried about at this point. And yeah, this looks good to me. Like I said, the other option is blocking with Codex of Frailty. Like, I'm not gonna be able to play out all these cards in a nice way. So yeah, this is good to me. They play a Glint, looking to draw into something. I'm guessing they don't find anything. Yeah, they don't find anything. They just passed. So looking good for me. And yep, just want to pitch into Death Dealer, fill out the 1. It's a little bit awkward. Like, it's not the best play here, but at the same time, like, it's not the worst play, right? It's still 4 cards coming in for, sorry, it's still 3 cards coming in for 8, and a little bit of like evasion on the arrow because it's preventing defense reactions from Arsenal, and having the Ponder and the Frailty. Like, it's just a good sort of like middle turn. And the fact that I get to opt and put a red Bolt Shot into Arsenal is really good. Like, that's probably the best Arsenal target I can have in these grindier games. So I'm happy to have that. Yeah, it's fine by me. I'll give them the courage. They pitched away a Blade Runner, so that's a good card out of the way. They blocked with 1, so I'm happy with this. And on my side, this is good. Coming in with the Bolt Shot for 7. Yeah, I don't think they should block this. If they do, then they should use a defense reaction on it, but I don't even know if that would be correct. This is fine. Yeah, that's good. Deny the reload, because I really want to pitch away this Amp Arrow and load in the Remorseless. I believe I know that there's a read the glide path on top, right? Is that what I saw? Yeah, it is. So, yep, I see a pump on top. I think I leave it there. It's a premium pump. It's a good one in this matchup. Frailties are really valuable. And yeah, just coming for 8. The on-hit doesn't matter, but again, the evasion is really nice from Remorseless. That's why it's in here. And I'm carrying forward, like, I'm just putting damage in. That's my goal right now, is just to present damage using the Bolt and Shot. I think one thing I'm starting to learn of these slower matchups is don't block with Bolt and Shot. Just try to like pitch them away and keep them in the deck, because they're really good. They're really good targets for Arsenal, and if you can play out 6 in a game, then it really helps these slower games where you need to be like getting value. But that's good. Again, a nice turn cycle for me, holding onto the Arsenal, having a Bolt Shot there. On their side, I think they could have blocked a little bit more, but they chose not to. So they do have cards that they like want to keep. And it looks like they had a blue for pitch. Then they had the Blade Runner and Arsenal. So good cards. And then coming in with Centauri for 5. And yeah, in the swing. So them having in the swing here, it's just kind of like they're keeping up with tempo. Like, they're keeping up with damage. I haven't had any crazy value turns yet. Like, I've basically just been doing like on rate damage. My disruption hasn't really done anything crazy. So yeah, it's just been a pretty, like, even though I'm presenting on hits and like having disruption and evasion, I haven't had any super valuable turns yet. This is probably the highest value turn I've had, and it's showing why I think them blocking with their 2-block armor early was a mistake, because they're just forced to take this hit now. There's like, they can give me the rest of their armor, which at this point maybe they just should, because there's so much value attached to this, right? If they just put 4 cards in front of this plus blocking with the 3 equipment, that might just be a better option than kind of like partially blocking this. But what was the last card in their hand? They took back their block, so I think I know what that last card is, or one of those cards is. But I'm just kind of like shoestringing together like my turns. I haven't managed to carry an Arsenal. Sorry, what am I saying? I haven't been able to get like a super big turn. Like, I've had these like sort of on rate turns. That was my best turn. So it's just been kind of like regular sort of rate turns up to this point by me. It'd be nice if I managed to find a larger turn and just kind of like catapult myself into the win using that. Okay, so they had a good turn on their side. I think that's the third Blade Flurry we've seen. One pitched, one was blocked with, one played. So it's nice not having to worry about that card. They're getting good usage out of their Kassai ability and the gold. And they should just swing in with Centauri here since they drew a card. I think despite the Kassai playing, like having a weird block on that turn 0, I think they played well. They're doing a good job at actually playing out their reds and not just blocking with them and getting caught into like a block loop and just letting me have like 5-card hands every single turn. They're doing a good job of keeping up keeping up pace, right? Like they're ahead on life here. They'll be I'm not blocking here, so it's going to be what 23 to 17. So good on them. Okay, they're going to take 4 here. And you can see my turn. I think this is, yeah, a good turn for Bullseye Bracer. I want to get the Bolt Shot in to get value off my Rain Razors. And depending how they block here, I may or may not want to have the Rain Razors as instant speed or as a pump or as the pitch card for this turn. What are they going to do? So I should be presenting lethal, not next turn, but the turn after is when I should be presenting lethal, and then I'm going to look to kill them in the next probably 4 turns, I'd say. Depending on how defensive they play. Like the game is getting to a point where they're probably going to present lethal, not next turn, not the turn after, but probably the turn after that. So that's sort of the runway that I have on this game. I think I'm going to present lethal first. Yeah, this is good. I think I played around the defense reaction well there. I should have let them, like, them not blocking. Okay. Yeah, like the first attack, I think I played around the defense reaction well enough. Like, them not blocking kind of indicated that they were going to sink, but I like that I just played out the Rain Razors anyways. Even though it let them keep it for the second attack. But you can see there that they're forced to Arsenal and just send it back. Like, I think at this point, I've got a pretty good grasp on the game. Their offensive capability just kind of didn't line up on the last turn. And me just having like a free go of it this turn is really nice. So yeah, happy to come in here for 7. They're incentivized to block here because I don't have any way to reload. So I would not be surprised if they gave me like 1 card plus a defense reaction or 2 cards plus dynamos. We've seen 1 Rain Razors. I don't think I've pitched the other one. So they can kind of guess that I have it somewhere. Like we're on turn 6 and I've got 35 cards in deck. So I've gone through a good portion of my deck. So there's a chance, like there's a reasonable percentage that I'd have Rain Razors here. Or like there's some odds, right? Like that's some good odds. Yeah, it looks like they're figuring out how to block this. I don't want to make any assumptions on what they have in hand right here, but I could guess that they have some kind of reaction. Like I think the 3 that I highlighted were Fate, Sync, That All You Got, and then I'd also expect Take It on the Chin as well. So here, it's still going to hit, so I think I'm happy to just hold on to this. Yeah. So they're going to take it on the chin. Cool. Rain Razors. Get it over the top. So this will hit. Nope, it won't hit. They had That All You Got. Okay, I'm happy with that exchange. Like, I still get an Arsenal. They pass back pretty quick. I think they IP'd themselves there. Usually when I see opponents do that, yeah, I give them a chance to undo. It's really easy sometimes just to click pass, and I'd rather give them, extra 5-10 seconds just to figure out if they can undo, because I know that I do that, a good amount of the time. Okay, we are being a little slow here. Maybe Talishar is just having a moment. Maybe my opponent's having a moment. But here, I'm really happy with the game state. They're going to have, I mean, they do have a gold, and if they have a blue and a go again, no, they don't even need to go again, right? They have they have taken on the chin, so they have an agility here. So they have a pretty good spot right here. Like they can pitch a blue to Iron Song and swing both their weapons. And on my side, I have the drill shot in arsenal, so I'm honestly happy to block with I'm happy to block with Remorseless here. Okay, so they're coming with CNC. That changes things a little bit. So how do I want to do this? I don't think I want to block here. I want to keep my skull bone. I think I'm still going to get use out of it. I could consider blocking with Remorseless. You know what? I could consider blocking with Remorseless and take aim, and then just shooting the drill shot with like lace attached to it. Yeah, that seems all right. Okay, but I do elect to just take the damage. That's fine. Use my take aim. I don't see anything on top. And then just shoot in the Remorseless for 11. That's fine. I think the alternative might have been better, honestly, blocking with the Remorseless and yeah, blocking with the Remorseless and the take aim and the skull bone. I think I like that better. I'm not punished for it because they had a really bad hand and they just blocked out with it. So I just maintain the tempo. So this is fine enough. Leading off with the Codex of Bloodrot. Fine by me. This is a tunic turn, so I'm happy to just pump and then load in probably load in Remorseless, I think. I want to play around a defense reaction being put into arsenal here. Yeah, I think Remorseless is good here. Oh, what am I saying? I have the release the tension. I think I made the same mistake that I made in game. Yeah, I should have brought in the infecting shot. I already have the release the tension, so Remorseless effect doesn't do anything here. And it also comes in face down. What am I saying? Yeah, this is a mistake by me. I'm just like straight up leaking 2 potential value. Yeah. Okay. That's a value loss. So that's fine. That kind of stuff happens. But just need to be a little bit tighter about that because that's kind of thing that in like this game is fairly close and it's the kind of thing that can lose me this game. Like if I end up losing by, 1 or 2 points of value in this game, then that's why. Like that's a spot to point to right there. Usually whenever I lose by like, like single digit life or like the game gets down to like 1-1, I always assume that there's somewhere that I could have made a better decision. Like there's no way that I played the game perfectly. Lots of games like I don't think I play perfect games. But especially those ones that are like single digits, I always feel like there's some way. But here you can see like I didn't block the first one. That's fine. I wanted to make him have the go again. And here I'm trying to play around him having a 3 pump. So blocking 4. I'm not going to get another tunic. I'm not going to play out the endless arrow here. So yeah, just block 4. If they want to pump it up with like a in the swing, which I know they're playing since I saw 1, I usually assume that they're not running 3, but I can assume like 1 or 2. Well, 0, 1, or 2. Yeah. Okay, so they're gonna get hit by the Seek and Destroy, and they discard that all you got. They did draw a card off their gold, so that was the card they drew, I'm guessing. I don't think it would really matter if it was. I should leave that on top. Yeah, I'm gonna draw into that. I was gonna say I didn't think it really matters what they drew there. Even if they did 3 more damage, I'd still be okay. But here, have a pretty good turn. Coming for 11. They need to put 4 cards plus their boots in front of this to block 13, because I'm gonna pump it over the top. They're being greedy, and yeah, they die for it. GG's. There's no way they survive this. Yep. Here we are in the post game, and I'm happy with how I played that game. Like I said, I've never played the matchup before, but I am familiar with playing into Warrior. There's a few really good local, a few good local warriors, so I'm familiar with the mindset that I need to be playing when matched up into them, like how they're sort of pseudo combo, but a lot of 3 blocks and can have these sort of cheeky plays and like things that you need to be um, thinking about in terms of like their reaction speed and their defensive power, all that kind of stuff. So I'm happy that I was able to transfer that knowledge into this matchup. Uh, I think I already vocalized it earlier, but I'm really not sure if I want to go first or second. I think I want to go first. I like that's my takeaway from this game. The only real on hits they're going to present are CNC and obviously like their Iron Song and their Kassai ability. But I think I like just fishing for a little bit of damage on the first turn. Like this game might have been an outlier in the fact that I got a really good start. Like if I could start every single one of my games by having that exact same scenario play out where they block with all their armor and I just don't arsenal, I think I'd probably take that every time. It definitely they definitely got a lot of value off that, but at the same time, I think they would have gotten more value if they had just let the armor naturally cover breakpoints, even though they would have taken 7 damage and then given me an arsenal. So it's definitely debatable, and they made that choice. But I'm happy with how it played out, and I think I want to keep trying to go first in these matchups just to try to leak value and uh, set up to have the first 5-card hand, because Warrior's really good at just blocking out my sort of like middle turns, and I need to be setting up these like larger hands to try and press over meaningful on hits that are going past the breakpoints that they're comfortable covering up. As well, for Kassai specifically, I might have offhandedly said this in game, but trying to figure out what their win con is, like keeping track of like blood on her hands, raise an army, and if they just like don't do those, try to figure out if they want to do like the value turn or like the value turn over turn game plan. It seemed like this Kassai was playing the third option there. They're just playing the value game, but definitely need to keep in mind if they're trying to play blood on her hands, or if I even see like raise an army pitched away, because I think both those are there's not much I can do, but just being aware that those are the win cons that I need to be prepared to play into. As well, uh, also like their defensive game plan, and I mentioned it a couple times, but just trying to be just trying to how do I say this, like use my reaction speed, my limited reaction speed, to play around their more robust reaction speed. So I think I did a good job with the Rain Razors. There was the one turn where I sort of preemptively Rain Razored, which I could have maybe held off on. I could have. It was the turn that I came in with the Bolt and Shot for 4, and then in reactions I just threw the Rain Razors, and then they had the sync. So there's a chance I should have held off on that and tried to bait it out. And I think that's like a small little spot I could have played better. It looks like I wasn't really considering the speed that I played at. So I don't know if one way was better or the which way was better, but I should have just taken like an extra second to think about it. Uh, what else? So I think I played around their the possibility for them having that cheeky lethal by block with my tunic. So that was really heads up. That's something I need to watch out for. I was playing into I forget the name of the card, but it's the 2 cost um the 2 cost reaction that if it's blocked with a if you block with an attack action, then they can pump it to +5. I wasn't open to dying to that. That's 2 cost, like I said, and I don't think they had mana that turn, so I wasn't playing into that. But that's something that I need to be aware of. Sometimes they run like a cheeky one of kind of thing, or even like route. Route's another card that you need to consider sometimes, but I don't think they play either. They'd want to play either of those cards into Azalea. And then finally, just coming in with the mentality that I need to play efficiently, don't get fatigued. Warrior can be really good at like playing those attrition games and baiting you into their value game plan, and then getting into these awkward end game scenarios where I can't quite close out the game and they're just putting their 3 blocks down and then swinging it for value. Like it just gets messy for me. So I need to play with that in mind and try to find the sweet spot in terms of like pushing tempo and not just soaking a bunch of damage and getting disrupted from their limited on hits. But I'm still trying to figure that out. The Kassai doesn't offer too many on hits, so it makes it a little bit easier. But other warriors like Bolton and even Dory, with their ability to go a little bit extra wide on um, their hatchets, if they play that, or Dawnblade. But yeah, overall, I'm really happy with how I played this game, and there's areas to improve, but that's the whole point of it. That's the whole point of why I'm doing this.